welcome to When Your Parents Insist on Staying Home, which is a weekly educational series for family caregivers and active retirees who prefer to live well, to age well, and to stay home as long as they possibly can, wherever they call home.
Nice.
My name is Galina Murdoch, and I am usually known for a social nurse navigator. But just a little bit about my background. I am a social worker. This was my first love. And then I wanted to be an educator. So I became an educator and I taught. But then I realized that families had questions about healthcare and, clinical question, which in order to make that a unique one experience, I actually went back to school and became a nurse. And now I am an expert in being able to integrate the psychosocial with the clinical part of it and be able to assist families in need. Now, why do I think it's important to go live and doing what I'm doing? Although this is my first time doing it, so I might be a little nervous. But as we all know, every day, about 10,000 about 10,000 baby boomers become senior citizens, and about 98% of them want to remain home. And what we want to do is we want this to be an educational series where families come in with their questions about aging well, and it's important to talk to your families earlier than later. And there's all these questions about assisted livings and nursing homes and staying home and what's better, and what's the differences, right? So we are here as professionals who will be able to help you and guide you on your journey, to provide your parents the best care that they can possibly get, while also thinking about their wishes and their dignity. Okay, so with me today, actually, I have Tammy, who is she's an area director of Southeast Florida Eldercare Planning Council. And in her work every day, she's answering the same questions related to elder care. With me also, I have Stella, who is the president of the Caregiver Relief Network, which is the only family caregiver educational program that is transforming family caregiving into a gratifying experience. So together, we will be your to-go people. And if there are any questions that you have, so we will touch up on some of the very common questions that we get on a daily basis from families. But anytime if you think of a question or if you have a situation, please feel free to throw your questions in the chat. We will get back to you, or we will discuss it in our next weekly meeting, which will be on Tuesdays around 11 a.m. All right. So some of the questions that we get, for example, where do we get the money to stay home? If parents want to stay home, because we know it's not cheap, it's costly. Some of the questions we get, what kind of facility would be better? When is it the time to go to a facility? Which option is better in regards to being able to maybe interact if parents can still do things but still remain in the house? So there's a lot that goes into planning. There's a lot of unanswered questions, but and we will put it all together for you on a weekly basis, and we will individualize it as well. So I just want to give Tammy an opportunity to maybe share some of her questions that she gets and how she handles it. And then Stella can also give us a little bit of her experiences. All right, Tammy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you for having me, Galina.
Sure.
Thank you for doing this most important series. In my line of work, in our line of work, every day a phone call comes through. And one of the biggest questions is, Mom wants to stay home, but
Mhm.
we can't do it. What do we do? We promised her we'd never put her in a nursing home, but we just can't handle her by
Right.
ourselves. So that's one of the most prevalent questions that I get. And usually by the time family members call me, they're in crisis mode because they've been trying to do this on their own. They've been trying to work and balance life work balance, right? Take care of the kids, go to the soccer games, and they're just at their wits' end by the time they call. So this is a very common question, and I think that the way that we'll be able to help will be greatly appreciated by people across the country.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Tammy. Stella, I'm sure you have something to add.
I always have something to add. So, family caregiving is the greatest act of love. It is by far the most complicated thing anyone can do. You go into it thinking, I love my mom, I love my dad, and I think that's the right thing to do. Family caregiving today is like smoking was 35 years ago. It was a good thing to do. Then it was a cool thing to do, not knowing it could hurt you. Today, family caregiving is like that. Many family caregivers go into caregiving and they don't have a plan. The problem with family caregiving is most of us become family caregivers by accident. So, in the last few minutes since we have been having this discussion, approximately 9 older adults have arrived at an emergency room via ambulance because there was a fall. And there's a daughter or a son at home, at work, doing his work or doing her work. And the emergency room is calling, oh, your mom was brought in a few minutes ago. She had a fall. She has a fractured hip. That one call has just changed that person's life almost forever.
That's right.
So what do you do if all of a sudden you're a family caregiver, right? Okay. The other problem is that our healthcare system is very fragmented. So finding information is hard. You get so much information, but what do you do with it? You call the area agency on aging and they'll send you a giant envelope full of brochures and pamphlets. You pour it on your table and your problem is still there. What do you do? So the important thing is recognizing that every family needs not only a plan for care, but every family needs a care navigator the same way every family needs a lawyer. So here's the funny thing. Every family has an accountant or somebody who does taxes, a mechanic, a doctor, an electrician, and a plumber. But most families don't have they don't have a care manager at all. So why is that? Right? Okay. So these problems happen to us, all of us. So Galina, like you said, 10,000 baby boomers become senior citizens. So that was yesterday. It happened today. Tomorrow is going to happen again. So every day, families are calling. Every day, family members are sending information. So I am very glad that you put this service together. You put this educational program together so we can be of support to families. Yesterday, I got this very interesting email. Let me read it to you. It came from a son who is a family caregiver. And here's what he says in his comment. This is his request for care and help. He said, I am in need of a nursing home for my mother. I have been caring for her for 4 years. She's become more difficult and needs to be around people her age. She gets only Social Security each month, so she can't afford most nursing homes. And here his comment. Hopefully, you can point me in the right direction. Thank you. Looking forward to getting some help from you. This is the kind of question that most families are struggling with.
Yeah.
So this program, this session, this series that you're having is going to help very many people. It is my hope that when people watch this, either now or in the future or as replays or on your YouTube channel, that they will be able to reach out to you to get some help. So let's talk about what this gentleman can do. So there are 5 steps he needs to take. Step number 1 is, Galina, he needs a consultation with you. Your background in social work, your background as a college professor of nursing, your background as an eldercare expert, right? And running Nurse Galina's Caregiving of New Jersey. all of that collected information will be very useful to him. So step one is he needs to seek a consultation from a care manager or a life care manager. Okay. Step two is to develop goals for his mom's care. What does he need? What does he want? What does he want the mom's care to look like? What does he want his own care to look like? Right? Because as a family caregiver, he needs care too. He needs support. So step two is determining the care goals. Step number three is we need to evaluate what tools he has. Does he have the power of attorney? That is a tool. Does he have the living will? That's a tool. Does he have the documents that are going to help him guide mom's care? So that's what we need to help him do. And we, Galina, I think in your care planning council, you do have a document that will help families to be able to evaluate what kind of tools they need. Step number 4 is then he needs to figure out which professionals he needs. So the National Care Planning Council and the New Jersey Eldercare Planning Council has an assessment. There's a little tool, and you answer these questions in that assessment, and it helps guide you to say, these are the tools you need, and these are the professionals you need. So in his situation, he needs you for the consultation. He needs probably a placement agent or a life care manager who does transitional care planning. If he doesn't have the documents for the mom's care, he may need an attorney to help create those documents. Then we need to come up with a plan, and then the last thing is to work the plan. Right, Galina?
That's very good. Yes.
There you go. So that's what this gentleman needs, and I'm hoping that he can reach out to us and we can be of help to him.
Thank you so much, Stella. That alone was a lot of information, and we do get that a lot. So, and everybody's situation is different. So please, don't, you're not alone in this. There's thousands of other families. We get phone calls every day about different situations. People are in rehabs, people are in, nursing homes. And how can the family sleep at night in peace, knowing that parents are being taken care of, right? So let's do this. Our goal is to make sure that every individual ages well, ages at home with their dignity, and we are here to help you. We have options for different people in different situations. We need you to please post your questions. Next week, we're going to talk about what do we do when our loved one is placed in a hospital or a rehab? Because as we know, things can go down really quickly when they're in one of those places. But we have answers for you. All right. Thank you so very much. It was a pleasure. For any questions pertaining to care or your personal situation, I can be reached at 201-426-7888. Looking forward to talking to you.